I have to find the books. Good evening and welcome to Baturdays in the BatCave. I am an apologetic OmniDog.
Jess got stuck under a big stack of books that fell on him. So he couldn't, he wasn't able to change the time of the show, and it just took too long. And finally his wife came down and helped him out of his predicament.
I'm so sorry. I meant to set the show up for 8. I even put out a little comment in the community tabs thing of my channel, and I meant to and I said 7 because I'm so used to 7, and I meant to set it up at 8. I'm so sorry. Anybody that's hung in there and stayed around, I appreciate it so much. Taylor's going to get drunk for the first time in his life and throw up just for you people. And that's the Minister of Comics right here, Taylor Brown.
Yes. So, well, we're here. That's all that matters, right? We're fine. And thank you for everybody who stuck in since 7 o'clock. You're our super fans, I guess.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I goofed up, and I was watching a football game, okay?
I don't have that same constraint. I'm just solely dedicated to comics and nerddom, guys. Jess has these worldly concerns that I do not have, like football.
Worldly?
Yeah, worldly concerns like football.
You're pulling the minister card on me.
I'm not constrained by the worldly love of football. I'm only constrained by the heavenly, divine love for comics.
Okay, that's cool.
Said that somewhere in Second Opinions 2:4. Just some church humor for you guys who like the church humor.
Church humor.
Church humor. Usually it's like church quote unquote humor, because usually it's not very funny.
Huh?
Church humor is quote unquote humor. It's usually not very funny.
Well, and Bobby Keating says, Jess, we ain't got anything better to do on a pandemic Saturday. That is one good thing about having a YouTube show during the pandemic, is you can capture the Friday and Saturday night audience.
That's true.
So that's great. I am super appreciative, and I can't apologize enough. It was, I have to admit, I was caught up in the football game, and we hadn't even started it yet. We were caught up. We haven't even started yet. And I go, okay, it's 7 o'clock. No, we had started. It's 7 o'clock. I need to set it for 8, like Taylor always says, so you get that half-hour notification. And so you got notified that it was starting at 7, and it was 7:30 when you got that notification.
I just got a good text, a good picture from Tyler Blunt, a big bag of Ultrons that he has.
Wait a sec.
It's a big bag of Ultrons that he has in his closet. Kind of hard to see, but
yeah, let me multiple. Take the comment off. Do it again. I can't really tell they're Ultrons.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see on a phone.
Okay.
Unfortunately. And it's my wife's computer. If it was my computer, I have my messages paired to it so I could show it, but unfortunately I can't. But Tyler has a closet full of not figure collectibles, but assortments, like different hands, different heads, different weapons. He has bags. He has at least like 100 bags just with hands, heads, all the other things. It's crazy. You ever seen that, Jess?
Yeah, I got one right here. Oh, I need to take off. I got a bag right here that I'm starting. This is Pyro's other head and his this is Murder Machine's regular hand.
Is that the only bag you have?
Oh, no. That's the only bag I have in that slot in my bookshelf.
Oh, okay.
I have a box where I keep them all in little baggies. You got to always mark them so you know whose hands and stuff. They're not always obvious, like Spider-Man or something. Sometimes they're characters you don't know. Like, I wouldn't think of looking at Murder Machine and saying, oh, this is Murder Machine's hand.
Right.
Because he's got that tangly, clawy web hook thing. So the McFarland version. So I have to keep a bag, and I have a big project going on out in the regular portion of the downstairs basement, where I am. I got rid of all my boxes that I was keeping for figures. I keep all my boxes for statues, and all my boxes for my pops got ruined in the flood. So I only had a few of those. So what I had was 3 huge garbage bags full of Marvel Legends and DC figures boxes with all the little extra parts in them. And I mean huge garbage bags that were taking up space that my wife was highly unhappy about.
Wonder why.
I don't know.
Seems like a normal thing to have, garbage bags full of stuff like that.
Yeah, so I went through it all, and there's little piles of hand parts, figure parts all over the place, and all the pops that I'm going to sell, and stuff like that going on. So I need to go on bag patrol tomorrow, like with your dog. I need to have a bag to pick up all the loose ends. I have to go pick up all the action figure parts that are in the downstairs part.
You sounded like Tommy Wiseau in the room.
Oh, hi, Dave, or whatever it was.
Hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Don't worry, Johnny and Windows. We're right smack dab in the middle of a tangent. I like how you put it in the title too, Jess. Tangents and chatting. I like how you put it in the title of the show too.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, now we're just talking about all the bags of figure heads and hands and all the other assortments that Jess has in his closet down in the basement.
Jess is talking about the body parts of his defeated enemies. He collects them in bags. So yeah, and I have a big project of selling all these. All of a sudden I'm super over pops, and I could throw some away. I don't have boxes, and those things are worthless anyway. So you have to have a box, or you won't get $5 for it. So I put everything in a huge pile, even my Harley Quinn pops, and I'm going to get the little perfect shaped boxes for them, because I've done this before 2 years ago, and I'm going to have a pop purge.
You're not able to sell them for as much money as you could without the boxes, right?
It's not even worth putting them on eBay.
Oh, okay.
Right. Without the boxes, I don't think.
Yeah.
Because it's like a $10 pop, and the ones I collected are always the chase ones or the exclusives and things like that. So I could get at least $15 for them.
It's like trying to sell a Beanie Baby without the TY tag on the ear.
Yeah.
I was lied to for so many years that Beanie Babies would pay for my college and that Beanie Babies would fund my future, and sadly they did not.
As a seasoned collector, I knew that it was a fad, and I got them for my daughter for fun. And I said, because lots of people were collecting them, like thinking they were going to be a collectible, like a highly sought after collectible. And
right. There were like books that they would put out like for value and things like
that.
I used to buy the tag cases that you put around it. Like cases. There's a bunch in my basement I just need to get rid of somehow, because I guess it's throw them in the garbage or send them to Goodwill or something like that. I'm not sure.
We kept all the holiday themed ones, and we put them out in a display on holidays.
Okay.
And the rest, I think, we donated when she was in high school to Goodwill or someplace.
I think there's like 1 or 2 that you can get a decent amount of money for, but they're not ones that I have. So
yeah,
there's not many that are actually worth much. What do you think is like the biggest fad where people were promised like so much money and there was nothing? You think Beanie Babies?
Let's see. What else? The 90s comics bubble was a pretty bad.
That's true. But some comics are actually worth something now, though. But it's very, there's not a very broad range of comics that are worth a ton. But I mean, You've had a decent amount of those. So like comics from the Silver Age, especially the Golden Age, even the Bronze Age. There's a lot of comics that can be worth some money if you're CGCing them.
Yeah.
But a lot of comics from the 90s don't mean very much now. They don't cost very much. They were
Right.
printed in the 90s.
You had your times when New Mutants 86 and 98 were worth quite a bit. I'm trying to think of some other 90s comics. They only made 3 million of X-Men 1 of Jim Lee's X-Men 1. So
Right.
I got that because it was fun. Victory Neal, they win. So I'm okay.
Go sports. Gotta love that sports ball.
Sports ball.
My favorite.
What did the Endman 40 said? Well, Taylor, if they were bought and sold in the moment back in the late 90s, you could have made a pretty penny.
Well, we were told to hold on to them for longer than that.
Which is bad. I've always had the not flipper mentality, but always if you can make 50% on your money in a short amount of time, that's better than waiting a long time and taking a chance. So I always got rid of everything. Boom, boom, boom. Quickly.
In the late 90s, I was 9, so I guess I wasn't really thinking too much about.
You weren't capitalism savvy.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about making a huge chunk of change, so I wasn't very smart about it, I guess.
Pogs. I totally remember Pogs. Alf's back in Pog form.
Justice wants that Alf omnibus.
I do not. I totally love that Simpsons episode with Alf as the Pog. I think that's the comic book episode. You really need to see that. I
like how in Alf he just like low key eats cats and no one says anything about
it. That's what really bothers Geo about him.
See, I don't like cats, so I think it's kind of funny, but I could see how a cat lover would hate that.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like played for like laughs or anything. It was more just like, oh, he just does this every day. He finds a live cat. It wasn't that he actually killed a cat. He would just eat it live, and that was the creepy part.
Yeah. Now, Marcella, what bubble is that?
I think we're in a variant bubble right now.
A what? A variant
cover.
I agree with that.
I know you buy some variants, but I don't think your main ambition is to flip them. It's mainly to collect them.
I have them because I want to put them eventually, maybe at the end of this week. I'm going to take the old comics out of my spinner rack, and I'm going to put the really cool variants that I like in the spinner rack.
Are the old ones in the spinner rack right now, are they worth anything if you get them graded?
I don't think so, because the comic advisor looked at them and didn't pull any. He pulled some, but he pulled what he thought should be pulled to get graded.
That sounds like a good reality TV show. The Comic Advisor.
Comic Advisor?
Not many people would watch it, but it'd still be fun. Well, there'd be dozens of us like in Tobias Funke.
He's the United Airlines pilot that he and I flew out to California to eat at In-N-Out twice, and then flew back that same day.
Did you go to any cool comic book stores while you were out there, or was it mainly just In-N-Out?
No, we went to, as soon as we landed, he rented a car, and we went to, there's an In-N-Out by the airport, and we went right there. We didn't take any luggage or anything. It was just getting on an airplane. I think this was 2017. So we went right to In-N-Out, and then we did comic book stores for the rest of the day in LA. And he looked for singles, and I looked for out of print collected editions. Because I know what the keys are, but he'll know, what issue of Hulk has the appearance of Storm's dead father's head or whatever that makes it so collectible.
You get to speculate about movies and things like that too. That's the hard part. It's having to speculate about what movies are going to come out and what comics you can make money off of based off of that.
Right.
So you kind of have to even try to figure that kind of stuff out and listen to the rumor mill before the official announcements.
Right.
So that's the kind of stuff that wouldn't appeal to me, because that would be that the speculation you could really pay off on it, or it can really not pay off, depending on what you buy and how much you buy it for. That can be a challenging thing for sure.
Well, he and I sat down in 2014 and we had a strategy session of because I needed to. It was just then, back in 2014, that I realized that not only was my wife 4 years older than I was, but she was going to get free health care for 4 years before I did, because she was going to quit as soon as she hit 65. And so I sat down with him and I said, the goal here is to get key books and go with rolling 5-year periods. 2014, 2015, all the way up to 2020. I didn't buy anything in 2020. So it was a 5-year period of 2014 to 2019. And it's a rolling period of every year. Like 2014, in 2019, I started looking at those books and started selling them, and that's gone on for a couple of years. 2019 books, it's too early to look at them, so they're still in the safe deposit box. They're keys, and they all go towards my health insurance. All the money goes towards my health insurance. Plus, there were some really, I'm pretty proud of myself because I had some really good stuff in my collection that I got when I was, 8 years old till I was 17. And I kept good care of it. And that's the issue, of course, with books, is that you read them as a kid and trash them, and
Or your parents throw them away.
Yeah.
Your mom throws them out. So
Exactly.
think about it.
Yeah.
Farhan Saeed says, Justin Taylor, why doesn't Marvel make compendiums or absolutes? Well, I know my personal opinion is that compendiums are somewhat cheap, and they get that big crease down the spine. So I'm kind of happy Marvel doesn't do the compendiums. I don't buy them from DC or from Image. If you do, that's fine. It's my own personal hang up. And I don't know, I guess, yeah, DC has the absolutes. There's not really a comparison at Marvel. Maybe they have some bigger books overall, but there aren't that many. I know they have bigger ones of Marvels. Do you know what that one's called? Like the really big one that you have?
Yeah, it's like the titanium edition or something.
And then they have the treasury.
Oh.
They have the treasury editions, but those are like big paperbacks.
Yeah.
Weird paperbacks.
Let me see what this thing. It's got the. Let's see what it says.
I really wish that Marvel did more like absolute size books. They called it something else. I would love to have some of these books in absolute.
I would much rather this book was an absolute than it's the platinum edition.
That thing's massive.
That takes my whole screen.
You definitely need to get that deluxe edition they put out a couple years ago.
It's unreadable.
I mean, keep that, but get the Marvel's deluxe edition for reading purposes.
If I was a little kid, I'd put it on the floor and bend over and read it on the floor. But I have trouble enough sitting down in a chair and reading, so I'm not going to be getting on any floor.
Yeah, Marvel has the Treasury and the Gallery editions, but it's not really. You can't really compare them that much to absolutes. The amount of absolutes that DC's put out over the years, though.
Yeah,
I think absolutes and library editions are kind of the main versions of that size of book. Obviously, there are exceptions for various companies, but they're the ones who are the most consistent in putting that size material out. Ben Uncles has a comment from Omar's channel where David Gabriel says, from the big wig in Marvel's collected editions department, that compendiums aren't the Marvel way, whatever that means. Well,
wait, who said that? Ben
Uncles. I'm glad it's not the Marvel way because I'm not a huge fan of compendiums.
Aren't the Marvel way.
Like, they're putting out a lot of old Vertigo titles in compendium format, and I wish they were either putting out Omnis or printing deluxe editions that they've gone out of print. So, but unfortunately, that they're going more with the compendium route.
Let's see. I think somebody gave one of us a compliment here.
Got to find that then.
Let's see. Double animal style at In-N-Out. That's right.
I still need to eat an In-N-Out burger. I still haven't had them on my bucket list.
I do love In and Out. Let's see. Yeah, the bubble thing. Pogs. Boy, I'm really fishing for my compliment.
You're really needing kudos today, huh?
Yeah.
Someone give Jess a compliment quick so we can move on.
Oh, here it is. Jess, thanks for the best fantasy comics video. Great picks. Okay, good. Thanks. Yeah, I did put up fantasy graphic novels video. My favorite ones, number 2, yesterday.
You just threw that video really, together really quick. Didn't put much thought into it. Didn't take much time to create that video, right? You just did it in a couple of minutes. You just pulled some random books out and talked about them, right?
Yeah, Taylor's making fun of the fact that I spent 6 hours on that video writing up summaries of all the books because I don't have the ability to like a lot of these Omni Bros that I work with, I don't have the ability to read a book and then like 6 months later give you a full-on breakdown of it, how it goes. So I did spend 6 hours on Thursday and Wednesday writing out summaries of all those books and then editing them on paper so that I wasn't talking for that long, and it still went like 45 minutes. I would much rather it be a 20-minute video, but it just got out of hand, and I hope people will watch it till the end because there's some good books at the end that I did.
Tyler's being a jerk and sending me figures that I want that he has stuffed away in bags.
What? Are you sending him to your message, your phone?
Yeah, he's just messaging me the figures that I want. Like he has the Wolverine X-23, Uncanny X-Force, like dark suits that I want, and he has them in bags. He sent it to me, a picture of them in bags.
Who in the X-Force?
It's Wolverine in his X-Force uniform with the red eyes, and Laura X-23 in her costume too.
Okay, good. I have both of those.
Oh, well, thank you. You're both being so helpful. Yeah, and Gary Sandberg, 53 people in the chat, only 12 likes. Smash that like button. That really helps us out, guys.
This what you're talking about?
Yes. Rubbing salt in the wound currently, huh?
Sorry.
And Elvis Parker's asked us a couple times if we've watched Twin Peaks before.
I watched the first season and did not watch the second season.
I watched season 2 was a big step downward.
Well, I watched the first episode and I said I'm out, and my wife said the same thing.
Yeah, I watched the first episode. I didn't hate it. It just didn't grab me enough to watch it. Then I heard the second season sucked. And I heard the reboot was really good, but almost incomprehensible to understand. And I said, life's too short. I'm too busy with a kid now to watch shows that I just don't think I'm going to enjoy very much. So I just skipped out on it.
I did enjoy the first season, but the second season just went like weird.
I used to watch a lot more TV before I had a kid and before I started reading comics again. So TV watches kind of had to take it back. I mean, I'm still watching TV, not nearly as much as I used to. So I have to be more selective about what I watch. I know you don't struggle with that at all.
Since I don't watch it all.
Right.
Now, I did I think WandaVision is that starting to Monday?
It starts on Friday, I believe.
This Friday, or it already started?
This upcoming Friday, January 15th.
Oh, okay.
It's going to kind of like take the place of Mandalorian in a way.
Okay. I definitely want to watch it.
It's getting really good reviews so far.
Oh,
really
good.
Reactions. They're saying it's really different, but it's really exciting. Like a really cool way to start out the MCU and television.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, so we're going to get that. We're going to get Falcon and Winter Soldier this year. I think we're also going to get Miss Marvel this year, I believe.
Whoa, that'd be great.
And I'm really excited that they're making a Moon Knight TV show. And it looks like Oscar Isaac is going to be Moon Knight. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Now, what have I seen him in?
He is Poe Dameron.
Poe Dameron, okay.
He was Apocalypse in X-Men, but everyone kind of forgets about that because he was hidden behind horrible makeup.
Yeah, I figured out why I like the X-Men movies and nobody else does.
I like X-Men movies, not all of them.
Okay. But guys like Omar and Riley and pretty much everybody has all these critiques of all these, especially X-Men movies. Laura just lost her arm.
That's because you're being punished for rubbing the salt in my wound.
It's because they all have history that I don't with these characters. So when I saw the X-Men movies, I didn't have any background. Like the first few 4 X-Men movies, I didn't have any background in any of the X-Men yet. So I just watched them and said, okay, well, this is fine. It was entertainment. And, now that I've read a lot more X-Men, now I get why everybody was upset with the second movie where Jean murders Scott with some big tidal wave. Now I get it.
That was in the third one, Last Stand.
Third one? Okay, yeah, Last Stand. That's the one everybody seems to hate.
And we got a super chat, Jess.
Oh, Felix, thank you. I deleted my Facebook account and replaced it with a new one. I sent a request to the Facebook group and haven't gotten a response yet. Okay, I'll pass that along to the admins and see what they have to say. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate that.
And Ben Uncles has a good goal for this year. Kind of riffing off our video from 2 weeks ago, we talked about our 2021 reading and collecting goals.
One of my 2021 goals is only buying 1 book for every 5 I read. That's actually smart. Luckily, all the stuff I ordered at the end of 2020 is still being shipped, so I feel like I'm cheating now. I just got a box that had all the great books that came out at the end of the year. It was a 35-pound box from IST. And it had Paper Girls 3, Criminal 3, East of West 3, Dead Man Omnibus,
Books of Magic.
Books of Magic Omnibus.
I think the rest were kind of a bunch of random wish list books, right? Maybe. I can't remember.
Strike Force I'm into because that's just a trade paperback, but I like it because it's got Hell's in it, and I think he's interesting, and it's got Spider-Woman, and but I got a ton of books. But
Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man the Gauntlet, Volume 2.
Wait, how do you know? Oh, because I sent you a picture?
Sent me a picture of it, yeah, I just looked it up.
You're
using my minister abilities to see what's sitting right next to you.
So tell them, yeah, so what I get?
Oh gosh, hold on. I think I might exit it out. You got some Spider-Gwen stuff. You got the Gauntlet Spider-Man Volume 2.
Yeah.
It's got some other books that I'm too lazy to go back in my pictures to look at.
Well, it was like this morning when I sent that to you guys, right?
Yes. I think it was like yesterday or something. I scrolled through our old pictures. And Kate Riley's asking how he gets into the Facebook group. I think you look up the Omnibus Collectors Comic Swamp and Community on Facebook and you send in a request, and it might take a while for one of the admins to let you in, but eventually you'll get in.
Yeah.
I don't know how often they look at that.
Well, I've been banned from allowing people in because I did such a crappy job of it like 4 years ago, so I can't really let anybody in. But so it just depends on how busy they are, the other admins. If they've got everybody's got a job and everybody's got some of them have are married or have girlfriends or whatever.
And Elvis Parker has a difficult question, especially for you, Jess. Postal or Gideon Falls?
Ooh, where is that? Who asked that?
Elvis Parker at 829.
829. Elvis. That's a good question. I don't know that I'm going to be able to answer it till I finish Gideon Falls. I loved Postal, and I am loving Gideon Falls, but if something goes haywire with the ending of Gideon Falls, I either don't understand it, or it's just outright stupid, or it's like The Wake and just bails on the whole thing completely, which I don't think that's going to happen.
The Wake was the most disappointing ending I've ever read or witnessed in any medium, I think.
Even television.
Well, here's the thing: the worst ending, like the last issue was the bad one. It was the final issue that was bad. There
Right.
wasn't anything else. I could say Game of Thrones, but that was kind of the whole season was kind of lackluster for me.
Right.
So I was kind of getting ready for it to not be what I was expecting. But the Wake was just like a slap in the face at the very end. Like those first 11 issues, it was great, and all of a sudden it was like you get pushed off a cliff, and you're like, "What just happened?"
Yeah, I remember going into my LCS and saying, "What happened in this book? Can you guys explain to me what happened?"
Yeah, I had no idea. It was very confusing.
So Elvis, if you're making me choose, I don't know. I have a very soft spot in my heart for Postal. It's so good and so unusual and so well thought out, and I like the art. But Gideon Falls is really amazing. I think I'm going to have to say Postal until I see Gideon Falls ending.
And at 8:30, Matthew Mongi says, "I'm cleaning out my studio, and I sent you a little something, Jess. I hope you enjoy it." That's
Is it
pretty
awesome?
Is he the one who sends you like art and stuff? Like
He did, yeah. I commissioned him to draw four drawings for me, and they're really good. Actually, I know right where they are. Let me go get them because he deserves for people to see these.
And Felix Nolasco, I don't think we'll do a walk through Hell on Crime Corner because Jess has done that, a lot of videos on that series, and they're all on his channel. So if you want to know Jess's thoughts, look up a walk through Hell OmniDog on YouTube, and you'll find a lot of videos that Jess waxes poetic about a walk through Hell. Because I know he really. I also enjoyed that series. I think Jess enjoyed it more than I did, and it was one of his favorite books from a couple of years ago. And I'm really excited to pick up that first hardcover volume of Gideon Falls this year. I think it's in July, and I know Jess isn't here, but I'll thank him for his grenade services of jumping on that grenade and taking the sacrifice for us by buying the trade paperbacks so that we can get the hardcover. Unfortunately, Jess is retiring from that endeavor, and he's no longer going to buy Image. He's not going to buy Image trades anymore because he's waiting for the hardcovers from now on. And yeah, Sergio, I'm hoping and expecting there to be a Justice League Volume 3 by Scott Snyder because the book 2 just came out recently. It's like one more volume to collect, so I really doubt that DC would not go through with it, but it's DC, so I don't want to say anything for them because they do a lot of weird things I don't understand. So we'll see what happens.
Let's see. Let me show you Matthew's really good art that I commissioned. First, I have to.
I'm trying to convince Tyler to jump on the show for a minute. He's trying to get us to pick what figures he should get rid of or keep in our text. So jump on the show for a minute, and we'll decide. For those of you who don't know, Jess, Tyler, Blunt, and I have a group chat that we do throughout the day. And Tyler's sending us text right now, trying to help us. Well, not trying to help us. He wants us to help him decide what figures he should keep or buy, keep or get rid of.
Yeah, I should just send him the link and have him jump on and get the group's opinion.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Just a second.
He said, "Wait, you're all doing a show? Sorry." I was like, "I told you that like 20 minutes ago." I'll tell him you're sending the link. And for those of you who want more of this kind of action, last Saturday we did a whole video helping Tyler sort through some of his figures and decide what to get rid of and what to keep. Wait, Jeff, are you going to upgrade with Gideon Falls to the hardcover, or are you keeping the trades?
I'm going to wait and see what the hardcover looks like.
Oh, come on. You know it's going to look great.
I know.
But it's like all the other Jeff Lemire hardcovers.
If it's like Black Hammer library edition size, I would probably upgrade. But if it's just like a deluxe or something, I probably would not.
We'll see what happens in July.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great series to have in hardcover.
It will be. Yeah. Let me show you Matthew Mongi's artwork that he drew for me. Here is Emma Frost.
That's really good.
Yeah.
One of your comic book crushes.
That's exactly what I had him do. I think it's just my Marvel comic book crushes. There's a DC one. Psylocke. And Zatanna.
Nice. He's
And,
all really good, Matthew.
Yeah, he is really good. And this is my
you don't have any dudes, I'm guessing.
Me?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Why would I do that? It's my favorite. This is Magic.
Oh, nice.
Ileana. I like this one a lot. I'm not paying some guy money to send me drawings of dudes.
And Elvis Parker has a good crime corner question for us. What's the best crime comic for a beginner new to the genre? That could be a good episode, actually, at some point.
That could be, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Ed Brubaker's obviously the go-to choice for that. It's hard because some of his works are kind of out of print right now in terms of hardcover. But I would definitely jump on all the criminal hardcovers that are coming out right now because that's really easy to collect at this point. Because the third volume just came out, and the first and second volume reprints are coming out next year, and Cruel Summer is still available. I think that's probably the way to go. I would think.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because Killer Be Killed is my second favorite, but that's out of print and hardcover, so you have to go with the trades for right now, or try to track down the hardcover.
Let's see. Isaiah London asked a question. How is Peter Tomasi's Superman Rebirth run? Fantastic.
And longer than we expected. At one point I said we should just do a review of Dan Jurgens' Action Comics run and Tomasi's Superman run. Jess said okay, and we included the Final Days of Superman and Superman Lois and Clark, and it was over 100 issues. It was all great. Oh, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
I'm the real Captain America. No, I'm the real Captain America. I'm gonna punch you in the face. You better not, or I'll sue you. You don't even know what sue is. You're so old. So, guys, just a Saturday night playing with some toys.
Saturday night was made for action figure playing.
It was. I was watching this football game of this team that Jess likes. He's repping.
Woohoo!
Like I said earlier, I love me some sports ball.
You're so much better off than I am. I wish I had never started liking sports. It's caused me so much heartbreak.
I used to care. I live in Pittsburgh. I used to care somewhat about the Steelers in high school. But the thing is, like, I would waste like 3 hours if they lost, and it was like that 3 hours never going to get back. It was like a waste of time. And so I just kind of gave up on it cold turkey and never went back. And I've been happy ever since.
What? I honestly didn't mean to spam you guys with text. Sorry about that.
No,
That's my bad.
you can have the chat help you figure out which figures to get rid of, and then we'll eventually get to our topic.
What was your topic tonight?
Some reviews.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever we actually get to our reviews or our topics, the viewership's like,
Yeah.
so we're enjoying.
Let me save you a little time. 7.5, 7.8, 8.3, and 6.2. Very disappointing. There you go. Review's done. So I've got some Green Goblins, some Ghost Riders, some Captain Americas, and then some Moon Knights. If you can believe it.
You're not getting rid of the Moon Knight that I found you. You better not.
Well, then you better speak up because I got 3 and only 1 can stay.
Wait, Tyler. First of all, you got to show everyone the diorama I helped you to set up.
There it is back there, people. I wish I could zoom in.
Did you put the Spider-Man on the side of the wall? I can't see it.
Right there.
You can't see him, but imagine that he's there.
He's not actually there.
So just use your imagination. So we got like some ninjas hanging out. And then if you could see right back there, there's a Shang-Chi who has knocked out one of the ninjas, and him and Moon Knight were assaulting the ninja stronghold.
And whose idea was it to put that Shang-Chi there? I don't think it was you.
It's hard to remember. It was really late at night. I talked to a lot of people that night.
Liar.
But yeah, it was fun. I spent a lot of time the other night setting up those ninjas. This is really cool. I just got to do like a fight. I'm going to put some characters in the windows fighting, which was also my original idea from what I remember. It's hard to say.
Yeah, there's no way that was my idea.
It can't be right.
There's 0% chance that was my idea.
And then there's one ninja here, and Spider-Man's on the side right there, pulling him off, climbing up the wall. I wish I could take my camera and like zoom in and show you the full scene, but
I didn't know Taylor was so good at help setting up dioramas. I will call you tomorrow morning, Taylor, or actually afternoon, and I'll have you help me set up my diorama because it's time for me to redo it.
Taylor's very good at it. If he just had one of his own, he could probably have so much fun. All he needs is a few figures. That's all he needs. Look at that shelf at the top of his desk, by the way, like in the background. Don't you think the very top of the shelf looks so plain? Would it look so cool if he had some
with those Thor and Captain America pieces? Whatever they are.
He's got like some paper printed out up there, but figures would look way cooler.
You have those too, Tyler. Don't think you don't have those.
That would be a good spot for a diorama.
I'm not going to get. I probably wouldn't get a diorama, but Tyler and I did talk about the street level Marvel heroes I want to put up there. I want to get the Punisher Marvel Legends on the motorcycle. Have you seen that, Jess?
I have, yeah.
Bandaged face. I want to get that Wolverine and X-23 X-Force costumes. I want to get a Daredevil and a Spider-Man, but those are harder to get right now because those go pretty quick. So there's none I can really see that are available right now that I really like.
You can't find Daredevil or Spider-Man? Spider-Man?
I'm sure I can, but I just they're
pricey.
Hard.
They're all pricey. All the Spider-Mans, like even the retro wave one is up to like $50 or $60 now.
You're kidding?
Yeah, maybe more than that even.
Daredevil was a peg warmer for like
I know
2018.
Yeah, it's because I don't think anyone really likes Daredevil as a character.
You're right. I'm sure the TV show helped kind of get the figures out there too.
Yeah, but absolutely.
I'm not kidding. The Daredevil never sells as an action figure. I mean, I have a couple because I like them.
They've got the armored Daredevil that came out this year. I can go grab in a second. It was a toy in the 90s, and I don't even know who liked it then, so I don't know why they remade it in Marvel Legends.
And you bought it.
I guess that's why they remade it in Marvel Legends.
They probably did it to fill out a wave or something.
They did. It was a wave. I don't even remember who the builder was. It may have just been the retro wave, and I pre-ordered it because I wanted all the other figures. Okay, Captain America, you ready? We got a lot of caps. A lot of Captain Americas, okay? Now, some of them I feel like these three I feel like I should keep because these are all different versions, okay? So we got Sam Wilson.
Yep.
Falcon Cap, which I think is a pretty cool figure.
Good timing for the TV show, too.
Yeah, maybe their value's going to go up. Or maybe they're just going to release another one. Then I've got Commander Steve Rogers, which is a pretty rad figure. Like, he's in all black.
That's from the Ed Brubaker run.
Yeah, when he took over as head of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then Bucky Barnes, Captain America.
Ooh,
which is really cool.
I think you should keep all three. Those are.
I would keep all three because they're all different.
That's right. So I think all three of these got to stay, right? Are we agreed?
I love that Bucky Barnes costume from Ed Brubaker's run. That's
it's
my favorite. That's my favorite Captain America costume ever.
It's weird that they didn't make another figure of it. What do you guys think, chat? Are we agreed to keep all these? This is a great figure.
You got a yes from me and Jeff. That should be enough for you.
That's true.
Chat says, get rid of boring guest.
Taylor, why are they being so mean to you? This is awkward.
You mean Bland Host 27?
Get rid of
Bland Host 27 is a pain, dude. Nobody likes
this is a great reference no, not that one.
Ooh, that's a good question there.
Ralph Wiggum does the best dioramas from Diorama Friday or whatever. From The Simpsons.
Okay.
Diorama. That was it.
I've only seen one episode of The Simpsons, so that didn't make sense to me.
All right. So here's where it gets a little contentious, okay? Only three shall come, one shall stand. Okay. So here's Marvel Now Cap. All right. So you see he's got the chin strap. He's got classic look, but it is definitely more stylized in the Marvel Now.
I'm not loving it.
Okay. It's a good song. And keep in mind, I had like 20 Captain Americas. This is what I've whittled down my collection to. I've already gotten rid of all the others. Like
you're whittling down the whittle.
I have a whole stack over here of ones that I've already decided, of figures in general, that I'm getting rid of. They got to go in the trash. Not really in the trash. Okay. These are the two classic versions of Cap, okay? So one is a smoother Captain America. Like you can see the texture is very smooth. The smooth Cap is what I call him. He likes
shaved legs too.
He does. He and Black Widow hang out a lot. He's like, hey,
shaved his chest as well.
How's it going? I'm smooth Cap. I'm smooth Cap. And Black Widow's like, ooh, I like you. And he's like, yeah, why don't I buy you a drink? And I point at you. And I'll point at him. And then I'll point back at you.
Okay, it's got too disturbing for me. Let's keep
and
going.
Then this is
this one. Venomized.
Spoiler alert from my next haul. Yeah, that looks awesome.
This is the only Captain America you need.
It is. It truly is. Mr. Awesome says, forget 3 Jokers, 3 Caps. This is absolutely, we could write a better story in this next 10 minutes of 3 Captain Americas than they wrote in 3 Jokers, guaranteed. So this is 80th anniversary Captain America. This came out. Here's one of the things I love about this figure, okay? He's not smooth. I don't know if you can tell, but he's texturized. Like his suit.
Yeah.
I definitely like the textured one better than a hairless Cap.
Yeah, that one's scary.
It's kind of, I think.
Yeah, okay, so this one's gone, right? This one's gone.
I would get rid. I don't think the Marvel Now one's very good either, to be honest.
I don't like that one. I like the one in your.
Yeah, just keep that one. Keep the one with texture.
Classic Cap. Everything. So these are the 3 that are the 4. These 3, and then the Commander Steve Rogers to go with my 20 or so Shield operatives to fight my 20 or so Ultrons.
I was trying to show that picture on my phone, but it didn't come through that well. Do you still have the bag with you?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab it. It's right here. It's I'll go grab it and show it. So here's 3 goblins, because apparently good things come in 3s, right?
I already know what one you should keep.
3 green goblins.
Keep the one in your right hand.
Definitely not the middle one. He looks really weird.
Yeah, the Bug Eyes. This is from the retro wave, but it's like very Bug Eyes, almost like 90s cartoon figure. Is this one?
Let's see, he got kicked in the crotch or something.
That would be a good action figure photo that I'm going to make after this, Spidey.
You're welcome to the. As Jess already knows, Tyler, I'm a wealth of ideas.
You are. You absolutely.
Which one do you like, Jess?
I like the one in the right hand.
Okay. It's textured. Apparently, you like textured figures.
Tolga, no, Cruel Summer is not covered in criminal. It's a separate book of criminal stories.
Right. So you get
not covered in Criminal Volume 3.
Yeah, get Criminal 1, 2, and 3 hardcovers, then get Cruel Summer 2. Then you'll be good to go.
All right. So we're all agreed that this is the one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one. The others got to go.
How dare you sell a Moon Knight?
Wait, I haven't shown
Moon Knight.
I haven't shown you. Wait, everything is in 3s, right? 3 Ghost Riders.
I've never seen the blue-haired one.
Yeah, that was before you started collecting. This is in 2012, in the original 2012. Right? It was a chase variant. It was a blue variant. Took me forever to get hold of.
The question is, are they all the same character, or are they different versions of Ghost Rider? That's the question.
Okay, so this is definitely a different version, so that's staying.
Okay.
So really, it just comes down to these. I mean, technically, these could be different versions, but they're the same mold. Like we could mentally say, like one is Danny, whatever.
I think I like the classic look better of black.
This one,
black with the chain.
Yeah, because that's like the classic look. The blue one isn't really comic accurate. I think the black one looks better personally. I like the flames better in the black one too. They're a little bit darker.
I'm not sure about his face on that one in your left hand. It looks very.
His jaw is articulated.
Oh, that's cool.
I could close his jaw, but it's the same exact mold. It's just different colors for the most part.
I just like the classic look better personally.
I guess this is like a Marvel Now look.
I like.
This is the one.
Yeah, this is the way.
Yeah, I agree.
2 shall fall, 1 shall stand. All right, let me get the Moon Knights before Jess yells at me for selling the figure that he worked so hard to get me. From his Walgreens guy.
I went to Walgreens. I tripped and broke my hand. Oh, that was for something different.
That would be funny. That's actually what what you tripped your hand for. You tripped or broke your hand for, getting him a figure he's going to get rid of. That'd be hilarious.
Let's see. We do have a lot of questions that we haven't gotten to.
Michael Edmond needed the voice acting for the Ghost Riders. I'm sorry, I let you down. We'll get some voice acting for Moon Knight. Don't worry. All right, so first Moon Knight. This is the one that Jess prides himself on getting.
Ooh, that was really cool.
The best contribution to our friendship he's ever made.
Actually, I should get a Moon Knight for my
I wish I could
level Marvel shelf.
Absolutely, you should. All right, well so here's this one, right? I'm Moon Knight, and I'm gonna rough you up. Robin, get to the car. Now, Joker's escaped, Robin.
Moon Knight is over there guarding my modem from Darkhawk, the figure. Darkhawk's over there trying to attack my modem.
Darkhawk's in my sell pile. I'm sorry.
I would sell him too, except my house would collapse in on itself. I mean,
okay, this is the second Moon Knight figure.
Nah.
I'm Moon Knight, man. I'm Moon Knight, man.
That's an easy sell.
Yeah, I don't. Something about it's not good.
I just don't like it. Jess's is going to be the clear winner, obviously.
Okay.
I have 2 Moon Knight figures, and I'm happy with them.
Here's the other one. Hey, man, I'm a Moon Knight. Don't mess with me, okay? I'm a Moon Knight.
What ethnic group are you insulting right there?
I mean, take your pick. Could be anybody. No one's really sure what accent.
Italian plumbers, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it sounded like
that one's definitely better than the previous one.
It's a me, Moon Knight.
You're only going to keep one.
Thank you for playing in my game.
Wait, Tyler, you're only going to keep one, or you're keeping 2?
Should I keep both?
Yeah, those 2 are the ones to keep.
All right, toss the other one. Good. In the trash. Burn it.
Tyler, do you even know Moon Knight's actual name?
Yes, everyone knows Moon Knight's name.
Say it right now. Say it right now.
Oh, it's obviously Mark Spector. Everyone knows that. If you don't know Moon Knight's name, what's even the...
You should definitely listen to me and Chess because we've read Moon Knight before.
Huh?
I said he should listen to our opinions on what to keep because we've actually read Moon Knight.
Yeah.
We know what he looks like.
Yeah.
Go read the Moon Knight by Bendis. You'll love it.
Yeah, it's Tom Hanks. Someone said in the chat, it's Tom Hanks' accent from The Terminal. All right, let me go get my other set of figures, and then I'll be done with it. I have a large amount of Iron Mans.
Oh, cool.
It's a cucumber.
Yeah, The Terminal wasn't Tom Hanks' finest hour or Steven Spielberg.
I never saw it.
Oh, Jess, great compliment. We know you want compliments tonight from Elvis Parker at 8:54.
Oh, all right. I was going to tell Filthy Freddy that I liked Remender's cap. But I don't know how popular it is. There's some people that don't like the fact that he went to Dimension Z and it's John Romita Jr. art and this and that. But
JR, I think he thrives in the Marvel universe. For some reason, his art stumbles in the DC universe. I don't know why. I like most of his Marvel stuff. A lot of his DC stuff, I don't know what it is. It doesn't transfer over. But it's getting that omnibus this year.
Yeah, because I bought the out-of-print trade paperbacks last summer. So I would get it. I'm just going to say get it because it's good.
Are you upgrading to the Omni, Jess, or are you keeping the trades?
I'm keeping the trades.
Even though you bullied Omar into making David do the omnibus?
Well, if I knew I had that much power, I wouldn't have bought the trades.
Yeah.
Just wait for that Omni.
Oh, no.
Did you break one of them?
Well, one of his heads popped off, but it's going back on.
Oh,
so these are mostly import. A lot of these Iron Mans are import, but they look like figure arts, but at the same time, what? Some of them have metal pieces, though. All right, first Iron Man.
Okay, show me another one. How many do you have?
5.
How many do you want to keep?
I mean, as many as are cool. As many as we would need to keep. 2. So here they are. They look very similar. It's got to be the same outfit, right?
These are going to look very similar. Are these movie outfits?
I don't know. This is not a movie outfit, I know.
Not a fan of that one.
Eh.
All right, here's another. This is a really highly articulated one, so I think this one's got to stay. This is compared to the first one.
No, I like the first one. I like the color scheme.
Like the little darker red.
These are all looking very similar to
They
me.
are,
Yeah.
they are do look very similar. All right, here's one that's totally different, and this is an import figure that's got some cool metal pieces. So this is clearly different because it's got a triangle on the chest.
Is he on a walker there?
Well, his legs aren't
Yeah,
feeling
looks like he's walking with a cane.
He's got the wobble legs, so he's got to fly. Look at that wobble. Look at that wobble.
I'm not a fan of that one.
My name is Tony Stark, and I have a wobble leg, and I just need someone to help me around.
I'm not a fan of that one.
No, me either.
Okay,
Who goes first two then?
and then 2 War Machine, well, 3 War Machine figures. Spoiler alert.
You just got one.
The one in your right hand, don't keep.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's cooler. It has effects to it. It's a figure art, so it has a lot of cool effects.
You aren't trying to get rid of the War Machine you just got in because it's the coolest figure ever.
It's right there in the package still, and it is awesome, and I'm absolutely keeping it. And as soon as I bust it open, all right, so here's one, and then here's one. This is the one that I just got.
That's a cool figure.
This is a spoiler alert for Action Figure Sunday, which is definitely going to be tomorrow.
What?
Yeah, Jess just found out about it. This is my last my last War Machine.
A Transformer.
Oh, it's a Transformer.
Some people call him Megatron. Okay, I'm gonna dip. I'm gonna show you guys this last little pile, then I'll dip. Sorry for crashing your show. Thanks for the help. We'd made really good headway. I'm gonna show you all the sell stuff. If you want some of it, speak up now. Either one of you. First to hit the buzzer. These are some real winners. Trust me. I don't get rid of bad figures. I only get rid of really good figures.
I've seen some of your bad figures, so you're not.
And this is fastest person to say they want it is going to get a really good deal. Boom.
Who the hell is that?
This Age of Apocalypse Sabretooth. Look at that ponytail that goes straight up, man.
I judge you for buying it.
Yeah, Taylor can have that one. Send it to him.
All right, Taylor wants it. 30 hours sold. All right.
So you're gonna pay me $30 to take it from me. Is that what you mean?
Why are you giving that away?
It's an old toxin. There's a new one.
I know I have the new one, but the old one is cool.
You like it?
That one?
You like the old one?
Yeah.
Jeff can never have enough Venomized figures.
I really can't. I think it's so cool.
That's going in the Jess pile. Fine. All right. Here's one that I don't think they've made a new one of, but like,
oh my gosh,
the leader, who's a Hulk character apparently. $30 for anyone who could say his real name right now. Okay, what's his real name?
It's Hector Hammond from the DC unit.
Yeah, his forehead's almost as big as mine.
All right, so nobody wants it. I can't believe it. Great, solid figures. Constrictor.
Is he a comic character?
He might be a G.I. Joe. No, that's a comic character. Constrictor. No one knows who that is.
I'm not good on my.
Here's one that I feel like they made a better version of this character. Maybe I sold it. I'm 99% sure they did. Captain Britain. Didn't they make a new Captain Britain?
I've never seen a Captain Britain figure.
I mean, I thought they made a better Captain Britain, but this one.
You better keep that for the reprint of Captain Britain Omnibus.
It's got to go, man. This one's out. Nobody wants it. It's going in the trash.
I just said you should keep it.
Yeah, it's too late. Sold to Taylor, $5. All right.
What the heck? With a bent javelin.
Hey,
You could do a lot.
bent javelin. How dare you?
You could do a lot in Shadow Box Theater with
Are you
that.
trying to like stick your toilet with the javelin or something? It's all bent up.
It
and
got bent in the box. I could fix it though, guys. It's fine. Don't look. It's a little droopy. Don't judge your javelin.
It's like the old guy in the Family Guy Star Wars parody.
Yeah.
There's.
Who is that?
Hey there, muscly arms. How did you get your butt into my basement? Got something to show you.
What character is that?
I think it's Death's Hand or Death's Head or Blackhead.
That's a must keep.
This one's gone. No one wants it. No one wants the Druid. I can't believe no one wants the Druid.
He looks cool to me.
It came from a San Diego Comic-Con box set. Like it's
Apparently
super
Jess
rare,
wants
I'm pretty
it.
sure.
Jess wants it.
Pretty sure that it's a very rare figure, but I don't even know who it is. Okay, I don't know why this figure got made twice. Who at Hasbro? Hire me, Hasbro. Claw
Oh yeah.
and Claw. Why? Who cares about Claw?
It looks like the one on your left hand going to the beach in Europe or something.
Hey ladies, my name is Claw. I am single. I like to mingle. All right, gone.
Yeah, both of those are get rid of me.
Here's a Wingless Angel. His wings are over there, but I didn't like attaching them. Old school Angel.
Bow-legged Wingless Angel.
Look at how bad the sculpt work was on these old Toy Biz figures. Like some of them were cool, but look at these shoulders. Like, is he wearing shoulder pads? This is like 80s. Like, look at this shoulder compared to like these shoulders. These are normal shoulders. These are like balls. I want to pump you up.
Michael Eamon, it got made twice and I bought it twice.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's Tyler.
This is why they're making them twice, because they're like, people are like, this will buy it.
Yeah, Stanley has a good question. The real question is, why did you buy Claw twice? Not that they made it twice.
Okay, first of all, Stanley never has a good question. I can guarantee you that there's never been a good question that person has posed. If you knew his real name, you would know what I mean.
Ooh, Ryan Sace. I'm guessing he killed you a bunch of times today.
Every day.
I have video footage of one of them.
Nobody needs to see that, Jess. Move along.
I am going
Jess, nobody needs to see that.
I may show it.
That doesn't seem necessary. All right, this is Dark Claw, right?
Dark Hawk.
Dark Hawk.
Dark Claw.
I mean, does he fight Moon Knight? Is he a Moon Knight villain? He looks like he'd be a Moon Knight villain.
No, but I had to do something with Dark Hawk because he wasn't happy, but there was something wrong with my internet and he was causing it.
Okay.
So I posed him over there attacking my modem and Moon Knight's defending my modem from it.
This last one is for Taylor because he said he wanted one of these figures, and I'm willing to help him out.
The only Daredevil I don't want.
It's Daredevil. You wanted a Daredevil. Why would you not want this Daredevil? Look at this. Good ab crunch, double jointed knees, double jointed elbows. I mean, this is everyone's Daredevil right here.
Good thing he's armored because you're about to throw him out the window.
he's like, you know what? I'm not confident enough to hold my stick, so I'm just gonna attach them to the sides of my arms.
I think it's funny when Tyler makes fun of his own figures because he bought them and paid money for them.
Yeah.
It's like you found these or anything.
It's a problem. I paid $22 for this figure at some point in my life. I'm certain of it.
Yeah. I get
one of these figures, they're
Tyler, when you're asking yourself you should buy a figure, think would Taylor justify this purchase? And then you'll never buy any figures ever again.
Yeah, then I only made Jess saw. I only have like 1 or 2 orders in Big Bad Toy Stores, so I'd have to get.
Yeah, but how big are these loot piles?
45 figures in an order.
I'm gonna have to ship them at some point.
I've lost count how many times Tyler's called me or texted me on one of his trips to Walmart or Target or GameStop this past 2 weeks.
Relax, Taylor. As I've been daily, okay? Did I go to GameStop today and get suckered? Yes. I actually meant to tell you about this, Jess. You want to be suckered? Let me tell you about this deal. This is a great deal. You can't pass on this deal. So you go to GameStop. $15 gets you a year-long subscription to their whatever dumb service it is.
Yeah.
But you immediately get in 2 days, you get $10 gift certificate. At time of purchase, you get a $5 gift card. So the service is $15. You get $15, and then every single month you get a $5 gift card in the mail.
That actually sounds pretty good.
Exactly. I was like, this is awesome. So the deal is you have to use the $5 in the month that you get it. You can't.
Oh.
But you can use them online, and they have figures for $20. That means every month I can get a figure for $15.
You sound like a timeshare salesman.
It's a great deal, dude. I did it. I was like, wait, so I can pay for this right now. It's $15 and I can pay for it. So if I pay for it right now at the $15 off and never use the thing, I'm not out anything. But if I use even one of those, that's a deal. That's $5 saved. I did it. It's done.
That's accountant math.
That's right. I'm going to get some figures for 25% off. It's going to be great. Every month, one figure, 25% off. Boom.
I got
Where's the shovel?
I got Black Widow today for $20, and she was marked at 30 because I had eBay bucks. And Black Widow's looking cool.
Yeah, she is. It's going to be a great figure when it comes in. Okay, well, I'll leave you to it. You guys have fun reviewing. If you're reviewing Tom King's Batman, good luck.
Then we're not. How dare you? Get off of this show. Tom King's Batman's awesome. Okay. I have to go get the books.
Okay.
Because I don't know why I left them upstairs, but I have to go get them.
All right.
So I'll be right back.
All right, sounds good. Michael Eamon coming down with the hammer for $15. You get a dumb service. What a deal. Stay there while Tyler's gone. Any questions for me while Jess is going upstairs? For the next minute, I'll answer any questions you ask me. Let's see. Yeah, everyone's pretty happy with Tyler's choices, I think. I think we helped him make some solid choices of what not to get and what to keep. That's pretty good. Yeah, I really do want a Daredevil figure. Man, it's so hard to find any of them. Even Spider-Man. I don't know. Maybe you guys can give me some ideas in the chat, but I don't know. I need to get those figures sometime. Best version of Pennyworth, TV or book? I have not watched the TV show. I can't believe that show got a second season. Maybe it's actually good, but it didn't seem interesting to me at all. Maybe I'll have to check it out at some point. I mean, I love Alfred. He's one of my favorite Batman characters. I don't know if I like him enough to watch a whole TV show just about him when he's younger. If you've seen the Pennyworth TV show, please let me know what you think about it in the chat. Yeah, Michael Eamon, I actually recently cried about a book. I don't cry that much at comics or even movies, but the book I cried out recently is the World of Black Hammer Library Edition, Volume 1. And there's the story Dr. Andromeda. It used to be Dr. Star, but now it's called Dr. Andromeda for copyright reasons. And it's mainly about a father and son dynamic. And I have my son, and that story just really struck me in a deep way. And it really just pierced me to the heart. It was such a sad story that speaks to the importance of that father-son relationship. And I didn't just shed a single man tear. I actually really wept at the end of it because I was so moved by it. That's the most moved I've ever been by a comic book. That's my favorite part of all the Black Hammer stuff that Jeff Lemire has done, that Dr. Andromeda story. Thank you, Hayden McGee, for calling me pretty. And sorry for Unseed. I can't speak to the Animal Man run because I haven't read either of them, though. Even though I do like Lemire better than Morrison, I can't speak to which one is better. But I would rather read the Lemire run personally because I like him better. He has a better track record for me personally. I'm sure Jess could speak to that more.
What's the question?
What do you like better, Animal Man by Morrison or Lemire?
I like Animal Man by Morrison better. Animal Man by Lemire is still good, but it wasn't. I think Animal Man by Morrison was consistently good all throughout, and Lemire's has some points where it drops in quality. Okay. Like
I haven't read either, so I just said I'm more interested in Lemire because I like him better as a creator. He's more consistent for me, but I know a lot of people, including Riley, that's his favorite book of all time, I think.
Yeah, I think you'd still enjoy Lemire's. It's very good.
Yeah, I need to read that and the Scott Snyder Swamp Thing run because those are both tied together at some points, right? With the Rot World or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Storyline.
Yeah. Have you read the Charles Soule Swamp Thing?
I haven't. I'm tempted to get the Omni, but you know me and big Omnis. I'm not sure if I want it. But I think I'm going to cave and get that Dr. Aphra Omni, even though it's...
Oh, you haven't got it? Oh, okay. Yeah, I pre-ordered that.
Because I have that... everyone knows my thoughts on the Dr. Aphra controversy.
Here's an idea. I'll get the... no, wait a minute. I'll get the Swamp Thing Omni. And you can buy for a reasonable price the paperbacks and hardcover that make it up.
Well, that'd be awesome. That'd be great, Jess. Thank you.
You have either one of those?
I don't have either of them. I didn't jump on the Scott Snyder hardcover, and that's hard to get now. That's pretty pricey. So that'd be great. Is Animal Man the omnibus still in print?
Lemire?
Yeah, a Lemire one. Let me look on.
Are you checking?
I'm gonna look on IST real quick.
No, it's not going to be on IST.
Maybe it's on Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon is where you should check.
Animal Man. I think this is our record for not getting to the topic. Hour and 9 minutes. We're going strong.
Okay, I'm going to...
It looks like it's expensive on Amazon, so I might have missed out on it. Let me check CGN real quick. Even though I don't love to buy from them, I'll check real quick. I buy from them if I have to.
CGN?
Yeah.
I will say I was sworn to secrecy by them on what they did for me, but they did something really nice for me the other day that they don't normally do. And so props to CGN for actually being really good guys.
Okay, they do have it at CGN. All right, cool.
How much is it at CGN? Are you sure it's in stock?
It's on special order, but they can at least get it for me.
Okay, how much is it?
$65.
Well, that's a good price.
That's a good price compared to $90 on Amazon. The reason I didn't jump on it when it came out is because I couldn't get the Scott Snyder stuff. So I didn't want to jump on that omnibus, if that makes sense. But if I have a line on getting that Scott Snyder hardcover that you have and the paperbacks from Charles Soule, that makes me want to get the omnibus of Animal Man.
Animal Man. Okay.
Because I know they're tied together in some parts. And
Yeah.
there's overlaps. I want to read both of them, so I'm going to get
Right.
Scott Snyder stuff. Matthew Mongi, there's a topic? Apparently there will be. Yeah, I didn't mean to blast CGN. The only thing I get upset about is just that if a book's out of print and hard to get, they'll hike up the prices on it on their website, which kind of bothers me. But I haven't had any other issues with them otherwise. I've made some orders and they've all come through well. So I didn't mean to blast them too much.
I didn't get any ox meat, Pete. Are those the $700 ones that were Kickstarters first? I didn't get any of those.
Tyler has those 2 Sentinels he was showing us the other day. I'm not sure if they're Hasbro, but
I think they probably are.
Matthew says, "Why am I looking at action figures on Amazon? I have to stop watching these shows."
Yeah. Do you know when the Omni is supposed to come out?
Let me check.
Because I'd like to do it when it's a little closer and we know DC's not going to cancel it.
Let me look. I'll look on comic releases, which is my favorite website right now for trying to figure out when things are coming out.
That's right. That's where I go to get my information and make a video with it.
It looks like late March, so not too far away.
Oh, okay. I'll pull them and give you a prize.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. That'd be great.
Since they're out of print, I'll just charge you eBay prices.
Yeah, good. Just charge me the highest rated value on eBay. It's probably $10,000 or something.
I'll charge you Amazon prices.
Hayden McGee, we are not getting the $500 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Kickstarter books, but you know who is?
Yeah.
T-Lar Bloom.
Yeah.
And you know who got him to spend that money? Me.
Did you talk him into it?
I just sent him the link. That's all it took. I think it might be easier to get Tyler to buy stuff than you. It's really close. I think it's Tyler, though.
It depends on what it is. Yeah.
So with figures, it's definitely easier to make him buy stuff.
Yeah. And he loves the Power Rangers. So, okay. So March 23rd, Swamp Thing. They're not going to cancel at this point. It's already been made.
I still think they're going to cancel that Batwoman omnibus that's been pushed back a million times. I'm not feeling good about that one. That's the one because that was supposed to come out early last year. And I get it because of the pandemic, but it's been pushed back a whole year and a half. I'm just not feeling good about that one.
Oh, heck.
I already have that stuff in paperback, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah. The answer here is Sandman. Wicked and Divine is fine, but it's no Sandman. So just get all of Sandman.
I haven't read Wicked and Divine, so I can't speak to it. Should we get to our reviews?
Sure. Are you going to get the Gideon Falls hardcover later this year? I am trying not to, but if it turns out to be a really big, huge book, I probably will, and that will be disaster because I'm trying not to upgrade at all. Marcelo couldn't keep with us till the topic. I apologize. Have a good day, night, evening, wherever you are, Marcelo. Take care.
Well, Jess, what book do you want to talk about first?
Farhan, I'm going to answer these questions. Farhan, Sheets is great. Dragon Hoops I read last year, and it's one of my top books ever. So, but Sheets is awesome, and so is Dragon Hoops. But if I have to pick, I'd pick Dragon Hoops.
And don't worry, everybody. I'm sure tangents will be mixed in throughout these reviews as well.
Tangents. We need to come up with a theme song for the tangents portion of our show.
We need to get Nate Burkholz to write us a theme song.
Yeah, tangents. Where'd you get those tangents?
I think we're pretty caught up on questions.
You answered the Garth Ennis comics one?
Oh, I didn't see that one. I must have missed it.
That I think it was probably for you.
Oh, I missed it. Oh, well, that's a kind of a general question. I don't love everything he's done, but for the most part, I do. I think the only two books I don't like are his most popular ones, which is Preacher and The Boys. I love The Boys TV show. The comic was way too much for me as the Minister of Comics, and the same with Preacher. I get why people love them. They're just not for me personally. But I mean, I love Sarah. I love his Punisher stuff. Red Team is definitely his most underrated book that everyone needs to read. That book is fantastic. A great crime corner type of book. Everyone needs to buy that if you're into Garth Ennis. So I like almost everything he's done besides Preacher and The Boys. And Jess likes everything besides Dastardly and Muttley.
Oh my gosh, I forgot that he wrote that. Ooh.
If you do the worst of 2020, that'd be on your video, right?
Yeah. That was really awful. But I've got a whole ton of his war comics. He writes, I think he's one of the best, if not the best, war writer around. But Red Team is awesome.
Ooh, Aiku, Punisher Soviet. Jess and I both love that miniseries that just came out recently. That was probably my favorite Garth Ennis Punisher story. I'll just go back and reread it all to make sure, but that's definitely my favorite in terms of off the top of my head.
Yeah, we love that. What was this one for? Jess liked it, Taylor didn't.
I'm not sure.
Maybe Afra?
I love Afra.
No, yeah, we both like
Fareen Saeed says Cross is kind of, well, I'll let Taylor complete that sentence. I've never read Cross, so I can't say it. I can't say I don't like it, but I'm assuming I wouldn't like it. So
no, I would never let you read it.
It's so not a book for me that Jess has it hidden away from his wife. So that's probably a good enough reason for me not to buy it. Right, Jess?
Yeah. No, there's absolutely no reason for you to buy it. No. What book would you like to start out with? Maybe one of my books of the year, 2020.
Ooh, this is also one of my books of the year from 2020.
Nice.
I think my two books of the year are Cruel Summer by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, and this book right here, Jimmy Olsen.
Oh, wow. You had it up there with the Brubaker book?
It's still number 2, but it's close. I love this book.
The fact that it's even mentioned in the same sentence, I think, is very impressive.
This is the most fun I've had with a comic in a year or two. I loved this book. It's the funniest comic I've ever read by far. I LOL'd so many times. It was hilarious. I love his Hawkeye run. I think Superior Foes of Spider-Man's an hilarious book, but this book is the funniest by far.
Superior Foes, wasn't that Nick Spencer?
I was talking. Well, Steve Lieber did that, so I was kind of one of those creators then. Okay. So I just think this is the best work they've both done. Steve Lieber as the artist and Matt Fraction as the writer.
Okay. Right.
Well, Jeff, do you want to show off some of the art while I read the back?
Yes.
The back is kind of a funny summary, so we'll see how much we actually get about the book. Jimmy Olsen, why him? In a world of almost 8 billion people, only one gets to call himself Superman's pal. Jimmy Olsen, really? Jimmy Olsen? Sure, he's an ace photographer, a reliable content provider, a bow-tied bon vivant and adventurer. But seriously, why does Jimmy Olsen get to be Superman's best friend? Man, what a summary. You'll be asking yourself the same question when everyone's favorite Daily Planet, Shutterbug, finds himself on the run through the weirdest corners of the DC universe, trying to crack the greatest story he's ever covered and solve the most incomparable mystery he's ever encountered, his own murder. And for the first time, he's got to do it alone and on the run when flat broke. 8 billion suspects, 8 billion motives, but there's only one Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen. And so basically, the plot is on the back of the book. Jimmy Olsen has to solve his own murder and discover who wants him dead. And that takes him throughout the DC universe. And he goes undercover as his cousin, Timmy Olsen, to do video content for the Daily Planet. It turns out he's the reason why the Daily Planet stays afloat. His video content is popular in this new digital age when nobody wants to read newspapers. So as much as it kills Perry White, he has to keep Jimmy Olsen on because he's what's keeping the paper in the, is it in the black or is it it's the black, right? Not the red. The red's bad.
The red's bad, right?
Okay, so it's keeping them in the black, which I love that aspect of it. How Perry White, it just kills him that he hates these videos that Jimmy's making, but it's what's keeping him in his office. That was a great touch to the story.
That was.
So, Jess, you have a really deep background with Silver Age books, and you love Jimmy Olsen, that title from the 50s, 60s?
I think, I'm not sure when, it dates back from at least the early 60s. It may be as early as 59. I'm not sure. I was reading it. That's one of those books that was really little kid friendly. Well, also DC Silver Age was really, but Jimmy Olsen was in particular because he was also always getting into the goofiest stuff.
He turns into a turtle in this, and that happened a lot back in the day, right? Him turning
that happened in, you know, he was always changing into a giant turtle man or Elastilad who could stretch, or he would turn into a mummy, an old man, an astronaut. I don't know. That was one of the gimmicks that there's a lot of Easter eggs in this book, but you don't need to have any Silver Age knowledge to appreciate this book.
I didn't know anything about the Silver Age. I never read a single issue of that comic. And I went into this book and I loved it. Like I already said, and I felt like it really dropped you in, but I didn't feel lost at all. You don't have to have any knowledge of that.
No.
I don't think you have to have any knowledge of Superman even.
No.
You can not know anything about comics and read it. Basically.
It's really funny. It's really well written. There's a rivalry between Jimmy Olsen's family and Lex Luthor's family. They're apparently the two oldest and richest families in Metropolis. They helped create Metropolis dating back to the 1500s. They're rivals from back then. So there's always tension between the Luthors and the Olsens, or as his Jimmy Olsen's distant relative's name was Joachim Olsen, because he is an immigrant from the old country, and he's meeting up with Luthius Alexander. Lex Luthor's also quite distant relative. You can't keep a good Olsen down.
And you get involved in a lot of Jimmy Olsen's family affairs, both in the past and now with his brother and his sister, which I found really interesting. Like, were his brother and sister, are they new creations for this comic, or do you remember them being in the old school stories?
I don't ever remember his having a brother or sister in the Silver Age.
Okay.
He did date Lois Lane's sister Lucy in the Silver Age, and Lucy was taller than he was, and that's what caused the problem there with that couple.
I think my favorite part of the book is his prank war with Batman.
Yeah, this was great.
Batman being funny isn't like usually a thing that I enjoy, but it was great in this book. And Bruce finds out that for years Alfred has been paying people at Wayne Enterprises to laugh at his jokes. And Bruce finds out about this because he hears two guys talking in the bathroom while he's taking a dump, basically, which I thought was hilarious. And Batman just trying to convince Alfred that he's hilarious, but Alfred doesn't believe him.
And yeah, they have a prank war with each other because Jimmy has to move to Gotham City to try and prove who his murderer is, who his would-be assassin is, who wants to kill him. And so he's in Gotham making these videos, and they're all short little stories, but they all tie together.
They're out of order sometimes too. Like they'll go back and forth all over the place. And
Yeah.
they'll even comment on it, being like, "You're probably so confused right now. You probably have no idea what's going on. We'll finally get to the point." Like they're making fun of themselves in the way they set up the book, which I thought was hilarious.
Farhan, he has to leave. Here in Malaysia, we are into another lockdown starting on Tuesday. Need to get some biz done. Justin Taylor, God bless you guys. Peace and love. Take care, Farhan. Be careful. Stay healthy.
Hey, thanks for watching, man.
Thanks for watching. So this is one of my books of last year, and must buy, must get, must read Matt Fraction book that there aren't that many of, because you made a good point the other day that he seems to do his best work for the big two, except for Sex Criminals. That's really how I discovered Matt Fraction. That's all.
You like Satellite Sam too, don't you?
Sorry?
You like Satellite Sam, right?
I do, and both of those books you're not allowed to read.
That's what Jess told me. So I've only read stuff from Image from him that I don't like. So that's
Right.
the frustrating thing. So
Right.
I love his Hawkeye. I love Jimmy Olsen. I love Immortal Iron Fist. Those are all classics in my opinion.
Right.
But I just read Adventure Man by him and Terry Dodson. I just wasn't a fan of it. I just didn't enjoy it.
How was the art with Terry Dodson?
The art was great. The art was really good. I just the story it just didn't do anything for me at all. I was so bored the entire time. I just wanted to finish it so I can get another book in my Goodreads challenge. Because like I might as well finish it. It's a really short book. I just didn't enjoy it. What's another book by him that I didn't like? That was an Image book, I think it was.
Odyssey?
Oh, I can't remember what the other one was.
That was a pretty weird. Oh, Casanova?
I can't remember. I'll think of it later. But yeah, I just, for some reason, his Image stuff doesn't speak to me for some reason. Oh, I remember the first volume of November.
Oh,
But
yeah. Lou
told me I need to read volume 2.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll take that opinion back if I read volume 2 and like that. So we'll see.
Yeah. Odyssey and what was the other book I just said?
Casanova.
Casanova. I couldn't get into those, but I loved Sex Criminals and I love all these other books. So this gets 5 stars, A+. Go out and get this. Run over grandma to get it and read this in the jail cell. It is so great.
I know this will never happen, but I want this to get an absolute edition because I would definitely buy it. Can you imagine? Look, because like there's so many like smaller panels with so many details. This would be awesome in an absolute format. Being able to see these panels in like a huge format, I would definitely upgrade.
Yeah, Steve Lieber really draws people fun and funny.
He's just such a versatile artist. Like,
Yeah.
think about him doing Whiteout with Greg Rucka. Like, that was such like a dark noir book. And now he does this. He does Superior Foes of Spider-Man. He has The Fix with Nick Spencer. I think he's a very underrated artist that not enough people talk about.
Right. Yeah, I agree. So I can't wait to forget this and read it again.
Oh, I'm going to reread this in a couple months. This is going to be like a once-a-year type of read for me.
Yeah, this is highly advisable for you guys to get.
I think this is the best. I think this and like Harleen are the best books that DC has done in years.
I don't know. I love both those books.
So that's definitely an A+. It's not a matter of if you should get it, you're going to get it if you're watching this video.
Yeah, we will be extremely disappointed if we put all this time into making this video and you didn't go out and get Jimmy Olsen, because it's great.
I even told T.L.R. Blount he needs to read it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so we should get to the other book in this, not in the series, but they're somewhat related, and that's Lois Lane by Greg Rucka.
Right. Enemy of the People.
So the caveat I want to make for this book, for Jimmy Olsen, you don't have to read anything. That is not the case for this book, as I discovered as I got into it.
Right.
There's a lot of books I think you need to read before you dive into this. which
And
I realized very quickly.
yeah, I started that today, and I'm going to finish it tomorrow.
So, Jess, what are some stuff that you're looking at right now to help you understand what we read?
The Bendis run of starting with Man of Steel, and I'm reading it through like the Leviathan storyline. It's hard to make a judgment on this other than the fact that I really loved everything I understood. There were certain references, as Taylor says, to the Leviathan event and the Leviathan criminal or whatever he is in
and something that happens to Jonathan Kent as well is in this series, which if you don't know what happened to Jonathan Kent, don't read this book because it'll spoil it for you.
Right. So this one I can't speak for Taylor, but I enjoyed it for the parts that I understood and knew that didn't need background. But then there were parts that it definitely came on the heels of Bendis's Man of Steel, and then I don't think it's action. I think it's Superman that has the Leviathan series in it, and then something happens in Event Leviathan, which people don't seem to care for. I haven't gotten there yet. I'll get there tomorrow.
I've heard it's great art by Alex Maleev. I've heard the story is so. I mean, I know Omar didn't like the story. I don't know if Omar is the most. He hates everything. He hates everything by Bendis, so it's kind of hard to say. But I've heard a lot of other decisions by other people besides Omar.
Well, I will read it. I'll get to it tomorrow because I'm going to read all of Superman by Bendis tomorrow because it's just time to do it.
You have to let me know how it is because I do want to get it if you enjoy it.
Well, I enjoyed Man of Steel. That's something I finished today.
Okay.
That was the first Bendis book. I enjoyed that.
So I think you need to read, a lot of Bendis' stuff, which I haven't read yet. I think you need to read 52, Infinite Crisis. There's just so many.
No, really?
With the Renee Montoya question stuff, I feel like there's some things I was just kind of like, I don't know about this. I feel like I'm kind of unsure about some of this stuff. I think knowing something about Renee Montoya as a question would be really helpful.
Oh, well, I agree with that. I just know.
Because 52 spins out of Infinite Crisis. And I haven't read any of that stuff. And so I was kind of confused sometimes about what was going on with her character, especially.
I know that Renee is the question, so I didn't have any problem doing the assuming for that. You know, assuming that she's the question, this happened, but I guess I can see what you mean. It didn't make me. I just accepted that she was the bodyguard of Lois, but she sure goes through. I think it's a well-written story of a strong woman willing to die for the truth and get the truth out there, who's a great writer, but apparently a poor speller.
She does it on purpose, though, to annoy Perry, though.
I agree with that. It's funny. There are some light moments in this book, and it's a really cool concept at the end that it heads towards. If you start this book where it ends, you will never see it coming from the beginning. I was like, what even? While the ending was really good and made total sense, and I thought it was great. If you start at the very beginning and you read the ending, you'll go, well, I didn't see that coming because it's completely different than the beginning. So it was really, really good, and I want to read the Bendis stuff so I just understand it better. But I totally dug the art, and I dug what a strong character Lois was, and what a kick-ass character the question was, and the other females in it too were nothing to be trifled with, and it does bring in the concept of the multiverse, and that's all I'll say because I don't want to spoil that. That was an interesting angle. I
think my opinion, I liked a lot of the pieces of this book. I loved Lois Lane and Superman's relationship throughout the story and how he kept stepping on her toes by trying to protect her. Because at this point, his secret identity is in the bottle. No one knows that he's Clark Kent, but they know that she's married to Clark Kent, but she's seen kissing Superman. So everyone thinks that she's cheating on Clark Kent with Superman. Nobody knows they're the same person. And so he kind of actually steps on her toes by showing up at certain points and people thinking that he's like actually in a relationship with her. So that part was really interesting. I really liked their married life component. I thought her relationship with Renee Montoya was great. I think the mysteries there were two separate mysteries. I didn't understand how they worked together. There's an issue of government corruption involving refugees who are being held in cages, a very real-to-life situation. There's also a whole multiverse controversy that Lois is trying to untangle, and I had no idea how they overlapped together. It didn't really make sense to me how they connected. So I just didn't seem like it was really a cohesive story. It was kind of a bunch of pieces that were put together, some great pieces, but didn't come together in the end and really have a satisfying conclusion for me purposefully at the end. It was not really a satisfying conclusion for me. So I want to reread it again. I think having the Bendis stuff under my belt, maybe reading some of the other events that I want to know more about Renee Montoya, maybe I'll get a little bit more out of it. I just don't think it was the most satisfying 12-issue run for me. I wish it had been a little more self-contained, a little bit more focused. It was kind of all over the place, in my opinion, at some points.
And I think that the more knowledge you have about modern day Clark and Lois, the better, because Jimmy Olsen was self-contained and Lois Lane was a very well-written book, in my opinion, but it does require prior knowledge of the DC universe going into it.
I kind of wish he had picked one or two of those mysteries, the refugee angle or the multiverse one, and just stuck with one of those. Because I didn't see the purpose of both of them together, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That was my major critique. That was like, I don't understand why both of these storylines are in this book. I feel like it would have been a little more focused if it was just one of them.
It did. Yeah. Now that you mention it, it did seem like it was sort of, the multiverse thing was a little bit forced in there.
I do wonder if that is like editorial influence, to be honest. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. I'm not sure. If we ever get Greg Rucka back for a second part interview, I'd like to talk to him a little bit about Lois and just see what the genesis of this idea was. I know initially he wanted to do a Gotham Central type book, but with the Daily Planet, with the reporters there.
Yeah.
And it turned into a Lois Lane 12-issue maxi series. So I'm wondering how much of it was his original intention versus something they wanted him to add to it. So I have no idea about the behind-the-scenes stuff, so I can't speak to that. But I just kind of wish it was a little more streamlined. They cut one of the storylines out, and it would have been a lot more focused and a cohesive story for me personally.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Now that I think about it, I think you're right.
But again, it's Greg Rucka, so it's not like I'm saying it's bad or anything. I enjoyed a lot of parts of it. I just think it could have been better if some things were cut.
Yeah, I enjoyed it enough to definitely keep it. I will definitely read Superman by Bendis tomorrow and then reread it. So I would say my only caveat is have knowledge of DC for the past few years before you read it. Although some of the stuff I didn't know, like the Leviathan stuff, and I still enjoyed the book.
Leviathan stuff really didn't play much into it besides like a reference at one point.
Yeah. I guess so.
There's a lot of multiverse stuff in here. So if you don't know much about the DC multiverse, that might be confusing to you. Because there's so many different crises, there's so many different events relating to the multiverse that it might be somewhat confusing, especially towards the end of this run.
But don't you think Rucka did a good job having Lois and the girls explain it to?
I think so. But as someone who at least has general knowledge of it, it wasn't that confusing to me. But if I was like somewhat of a newcomer to the DC universe, it might be a bit much for me.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think of someone who doesn't know much about the multiverse in DC.
Tyler doesn't, does he?
Right. So, I mean, I can't imagine Tyler. I think it would be a difficult book for someone like Tyler to read.
I agree with that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think I do want to come back to this book with a little bit more knowledge under my belt with the Bendis run, under my belt as well. I think I'll probably get a lot more out of it. Again, I enjoyed it. There's a lot of great parts to it, but I just wish it had been a little more edited down to be more focused.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion.
Yeah, I think I wish there was. I think I wish it had more multiverse. That's the line. That's the storyline that I enjoyed the most.
It just it kind of felt like the refugee storyline was him trying to make a point about real life stuff.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like shoehorned in there to make a point, a political point. And I'm fine with authors making political points in a book. It just didn't seem like it was necessary for the story, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, it was a story she was going after for the Daily Planet, whereas the multiverse one doesn't help the planet at all.
Yeah, if this had been like an ongoing series, it would have made sense to have multiple mysteries that are kind of teased out. But it was only a 12-issue maxi, and with a 12-issue maxi series, I want it to be very, very focused and not go all over the place, if that makes sense. And I just feel like I wish it had been. I think the multiverse stuff was the more interesting stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think the overall message is a good one, which is the truth is important, even if people don't want to hear it.
Right. Yeah, they go into a whole thing about the truth. That's very interesting.
Yeah, so the overall message was solid. There are a lot of solid pieces to it, and maybe I'll enjoy it even more when I read it later.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll move away to something totally different, and that is Wonder Woman Dead Earth by Daniel Warren Johnson. This is the first book I've ever read by him. I know you've read Murder Falcon.
Yeah.
Have you read anything else by him before?
No, I don't. There is another book by him. I can't think of what it is, but they told me to read it. Somebody told me to read it, and I don't think I bought it, and I haven't got there yet. But based on Murder Falcon and this book, Daniel Warren Johnson is a talent for this generation. Based on those two books, they are Wonder Woman Dead Earth and Murder Falcon are so different and such different takes. Different take on Wonder Woman, and then Murder Falcon is such a different take just on life in general, that I find him to be remarkable. And he may move in. It depends on how the next book goes with him. He may move into that area of Brubaker and Rucka, where I will just get it and not care what it's about.
That's very high praise, Jess.
Yeah.
Well, only 2 books, especially.
Yeah. Well, that's why the third one that I read by him needs to be as great as those two.
Someone mentioned Extremity I think it's an Image book, so maybe you should read that next by him.
Extremity? I think that might be an Aftershock book. Let me look.
I could have sworn I thought he had an Image book. Maybe he doesn't.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Can someone tell us if that's from Aftershock or if that's from Image?
Extremity.
Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, it looks like it's an Image book.
Image, okay.
He also did an issue of Headlopper. Isn't that a series by somebody else?
Yeah, Andrew McLean.
Oh, maybe he just drew like a couple pages or something. Yeah, it looks like his books at Image are Extremity and Murder Falcon. So Extremity could be a good book for you to check out next.
I have a feeling that Extremity, I would have to do a little digging, but I think it's on my shelf somewhere.
Don't you love that game, Jess? I think I have that book, but we'll see if it's here.
I hate that game.
Well, Jess, do you want to show off some art while I read the back for people before we get into our overall thoughts, even though you kind of let us know what you think of it with your praise? Wonder Woman's mission was to save man's world from itself. She failed. When Diana awakens from a centuries-long sleep, she discovers Earth has been reduced to a nuclear wasteland. Now she's marooned in a dark and dangerous future, protecting the last human city from titanic monsters and struggling to uncover the secret of this dead Earth and how she may be responsible for it. So this is a DC Black Label book. This is not in continuity at all. It's a very like a Mad Max dystopian future. And Daniel Warren Johnson, I'm very impressed. I always say most artists aren't good writers. That's not the case with this guy. He is an excellent writer and an excellent artist. And there are so many metal moments in this book. I'm not like a metal kind of guy, but It's a very metal book. I think Murder Falcon's kind of like that. So many awesome, cool moments. I'm sure Jess could give you some metal recommendations for what albums to listen to while you read this book. It probably pair very well. I thoroughly enjoyed this book and had a ton of fun with it. It was a really quick read. There aren't a ton of word balloons and dialogue, but the story is very gripping. It went in a lot of unexpected places, which I really want from a DC Black Label book.
Yeah.
Books are out of continuity, go crazy, do whatever you want, do things I've never seen before, which this book did in spades. So, Jess, you've kind of given us some of your praise so far, but what were your overall thoughts about this book?
I think his art is maybe an acquired taste, not as much as Jeff Lemire's art is an acquired taste, but his art is very different, but it is also very evocative and of emotions, things like that. He writes very descriptive, emotionally descriptive faces, like the exact opposite of what the Pole had from TKO.
That's a book you shouldn't read.
Yeah, you can just tell by the eyes on these characters how they're feeling and what their emotions are, and the emotions are, you wake up in a future where everything's been burned to the ground. It's going to be an emotional book. Post-apocalyptic books always are, and it's got it's believable that this would happen to Wonder Woman, and that the characters she encounters in this post-apocalyptic future seem very real in the way that this is the way that humans would act in this manner at the end of the world. And I found her journeys to Themyscira really charged with emotion, very different emotions at different times, that made this book really gripping and made you feel very connected to Diana, because the relationship she has with the people on that island and the relationship she has with humans are two very different relationships, and she's always torn, and this book handles it really well. It handles her ability. She has an ability. Well, how do I want to put it? She changes. Well, no, she goes through a series of changes, and I appreciated the fact that Daniel Warren Johnson made it so she was flexible enough and self-aware enough to go through the changes, and every change that she went through in her head was beneficial to her and the people around her. So I thought this was really well written, and it's right up there. My favorite Wonder Woman story ever is by Greg Rucka, the Hikatea. This is really different than that, but I like it as much as the Hikatea. The Hikatea is my favorite Wonder Woman story ever, and that's just a story. But it's right up. This book is right up there with that story as far as things that I like.
This is a book you can read not knowing anything about Wonder Woman and have a lot of fun. You don't know anything. If someone asked me where to start with Wonder Woman, I might recommend this book. It's so easy. It's so easy to get. It's so much fun. It's a quick read. It's like an action blockbuster summer movie, and I think a lot of people will enjoy this book. And there's one scene towards the end I wish we could talk about, but I don't want to spoil it. A certain weapon that she uses that's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was the best part of the story. I don't want to say it because it will ruin the book for you.
That's the kind of thing that I look for in a book. Something really unusual and interesting that only a creator could think of, a really smart and imaginative creator could think of, was like that, was something like that. That's an example of what I want in a book where I go, whoa, how did he think of that? That's amazing.
Well, I know you've been reading comics for like 50 years longer than me, or maybe more than that. But I've been reading comics like in earnest for the past 6 years, and I get burnt out on some superhero comics. I'm like, this is the same old, same old. I want something new. I want something fresh. And this is definitely that. There's a lot of interesting ideas here, a lot of amazing art, and it was like a breath of fresh air in the superhero book for me. And superhero book milieu for me.
Well said. I 100% agree with that.
I've noticed myself not reading as many superhero books as I used to. I've been kind of shifting more towards creator-owned recently. But it books like this and Jimmy Olsen that have really got me back into wanting to read a lot of more superhero books. So I think it's a book that everyone should get.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
And it's a nice oversized hardcover, which Jess and I both love.
Yeah.
And Highland G has a question for us, Jess, to kind of gauge our enjoyment of the book. They're totally different. It's like apples and oranges.
Yeah.
Like a deep character study, whereas this is just like an action blockbuster comic. I would say, I think, just overall, I think I like Harley more, but that doesn't take away from this book. They're both books that you need to have in your collection.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't, Harleen is so different from everything that I read, from anything that I read last year. It's hard to really compare it to anything else. So I'm not sure it's really fair to use that as the bar, because while I don't want to spoil my own video that's going to be coming out before the end of 2021, the best of 2020, I still feel like Harleen's probably going to be number one. But I love this book a lot. But I can't, just because I like Harleen better doesn't mean you shouldn't get this. You definitely should get this.
I think these are the two, Harleen and Wonder Woman Dead Earth, are the best Black Label books I've read so far.
Yeah.
They're both A-level material.
100%. Next Imaginaut, we did. OmniDogs Vol just joined the chat and live stream. Have either of you endorsed? Well, I don't know if Taylor has endorsed Morrison's Wonder Woman Earth 1 and 2. We did.
Yeah, I have a blurb on the back. That'd be hilarious if I randomly had a blurb on the back of that book.
It'd be great. The Minister of Comics. We did a review of all the Earth 1 books, and it's my second favorite after Batman Earth 1. I don't remember how you felt about it.
I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy enough to buy it, essentially. I thought it was a really good story. For me, it was Batman, Earth 1's all the way up here, Green Lantern's like right here, Wonder Woman's here, and the rest of the books are kind of down here for me. So I enjoyed it more than the most of the Earth 1 books. I think they're definitely worth the read.
Yeah.
The art alone by Yannick Paquette is worth the read for me.
Yes. It is amazing.
Tyler, get out of here. I've endorsed your spending in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If you look at Tyler's office that we just saw, that's all thanks to Jess and I. So,
It's more thanks to you. You're the one that looked at the bones of that establishment and said, let's flesh this thing out and let's get some art on the walls and some bookshelves and let's get this thing going. And Tyler goes, I have no room for anything. And you're like, you have nothing but room. It's empty walls.
That was the biggest lie of 2020. I have no room. I have no room in my.
Yeah, all it was an empty room. It was empty.
Yeah. You had a part to play.
Well, I
helped
him.
You helped push him over the cliff.
I helped him sign the credit card.
So yeah, if you had to rank the books that we reviewed today, like your first favorite, your second favorite, your third favorite, like this is the one you have to buy out of all of these ones.
Oh,
it's gonna be a hard one, Jess.
They're so different. They're all so different. I
mean, Jimmy Olsen's one of my books of the year, so that's my favorite.
Yeah.
And then it's followed by Wonder Woman Dead Earth. And then I think Lois Lane was my third favorite.
Yeah, I agree in that order, but Wonder Woman's definitely going to be one of my books of the year. It's definitely going to be in the top 10.
Yeah. Are you going to have like a top 50 for book of the year?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
It's
Just
like how your top 10 became top 16 or whatever.
Yeah. Jess's top 10 for 2020, and then it'll really be 16 books.
That's funny. And Professor Flex says Dead Earth out metal Death Metal by about 100 to 1.
Okay.
Well, Jess and I hope to do a video on Death Metal whenever all those collected editions come out. I think in April and May. I think they come out.
Okay. I know that I pre-ordered a couple of them, but I have not pre-ordered all of them yet.
So our plan, I think, is to read all of them and do a reading order like we did last time. I think a lot of people appreciated that. So we'll get to that.
The reading order? Yeah.
I'm sure we'll probably do it sometime in May or early June.
Yes.
And Tyler says Jess pushes more figures and Taylor pushes my office remodel, and both push my buttons. In good ways, though. We didn't give you crap stuff. We get you good stuff.
Yeah.
Your office looks a million times better.
Everybody's favorite office. You've got original art, and your daughter comes in to play video games in there. You've got a couch and shelves that are waiting to be filled with books. So it's great.
Yeah, Atit Patel. Again, I think Jimmy Olsen and Wonder Woman are so different. If you want to just like turn off your brain for a little bit and have a lot of fun, read Wonder Woman next. Because Jimmy Olsen is a very dense read. It's a lot of fun, but it definitely took me a little while to read because there's so much going on.
In Jimmy Olsen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This book took me like an hour to read, whereas Jimmy Olsen took me a couple hours to read. So I think it really depends on what you are in the mood for next.
Sergio has a good question. What Superman is the best to read?
I think we always have the same answers to this question.
Yeah, we always do.
For me, my top three. Number one is always Superman Secret Identity. That gave me a love for Superman I didn't have before by Kurt Busiek and Stuart Immonen. And I believe that hardcover, I keep selling it. It's still on Hamilton Books for $6.95, that deluxe hardcover. If you don't have it, you have no excuse not to get it. I've said it a million times by now. You have to get it. I think my second favorite is Secret Origins by Jeff Johns. And then third is American Alien, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and I would throw in Superman Birthright by Mark Waid. Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, and All-Star Superman. You read those, you will fall in love with Superman.
Yes, I agree. I think Jess's favorite origin is Birthright, and my favorite is Secret Origins, but they're both great. Can't go wrong with either of those.
It might be Secret Identity. That might
I meant for origin story, because I guess Secret Identity is kind of a version of Superman's origin. It's almost like a different version of Superman. It's like almost, what if Superman existed in our world? Because in Secret Identity, Superman's actually a character. It's like in our world. We all read Superman comics. But there's actually a guy named Clark Kent in our world who actually gets Superman's powers when he becomes a teenager. So that's the basic premise of that book. And we see him age in real time, which I love.
Yeah.
Because comics, I forget who said it, but they said comics is pretty much a perpetual second act. There's not really any conclusions in comics. There's no third acts in comics. There's always a reboot. There's always a reset. But this is like a total overarching story of Superman's life, and you see him from beginning to end, which I loved. And everyone needs to read it.
Yeah, Aiku's Right, Red Sun is also amazing.
Ooh, that's close to the top three, definitely in the top five.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing Mark Miller's ever written.
That has one of the best surprise endings in comics. Yeah. I love that ending. It's fantastic. I'm actually due for a reread of that. I wish I had a deluxe hardcover of that. I think the deluxe hardcover is out of print.
That is super waylet.
I have the paperback, which I'm happy with, but if they ever reprint it, I'll probably upgrade to a hardcover.
If there was an Omar for DC, he would have a deluxe version of that put out ASAP.
I know I say it all the time, but if they hire me and Jess Can you imagine all the good books that'd be coming out, Jeff?
We'd get that place in order.
I'm serious.
They would shape up real quick under our beneficial dictatorship.
My first choice is get that Tom King sixth hardcover out there. Finish that run. I would also give you your Bronze Age Batman, so you can see it in your lifetime, which I know you're worried about. They'll never get to see it. So there's a lot of things I would do.
No, there's so much we could make happen there that would please so many people. Reprinting the question, or even making a question omnibus. We could. Let's see. What else did we want to do? Question, Sugar and Spike. I want a full collection of Sugar and Spike, Jimmy Olsen, and Lois Lane.
Superman Man of Steel omnis that people actually really want.
Yep, instead of those goofy standard size hardcovers.
Correct that big mistake.
Yep. I'd come out with Snyder Batman Omnibus 2, which I knew would happen.
And make sure that Jeff Johns' Justice League run will actually be fully collected in omnibus. Which I'm very convinced that it's just gonna be the first volume and then Darkseid War and then a bunch of other random stuff in between it.
Yes, I totally feel the same way. Here's another good question from Sergio. Have you done the best Rebirth series? That's a good question. I don't know if we could certainly get all the Rebirth books and talk about them over the course of 2 shows or something, and then. But Taylor has access through Hoopla to them all,
and so do you. I think you have all of them pretty much. Though.
I have them all from the very beginning, but then some I dropped.
I have all of Batman. I have all the Flash stuff that was collected, and the rest of it. I want to read the rest of the run, but I have to get the trades, and that's another thing that's annoying. They didn't just cancel the Flash Joshua Williamson deluxe hardcovers. They went to standardized hardcovers, then the trade paperbacks. It's like, come on, just stick to it at least.
I know.
And then Green Arrow, I gotta get rid of that stupid blue Green Arrow. It really angers me just looking at it. Because first of all, it sticks out like a sore thumb, and they're not making it anymore. And I didn't even like it that much. I definitely need to get rid of that.
Green Arrow.
I have all the Superman Rebirth hardcovers, and I have the Wonder Woman by Greg Rucka hardcovers too. So I have a decent amount. I don't have as much as Jess does. I haven't read all of it, so I couldn't say for sure that these are definitely the best. I could say what my favorites that I've read are.
Yeah, we could work on that maybe to the end of the year and read Rebirth throughout the year.
Yeah, that would take me a little while.
Yeah.
Make sure I read a decent. I wouldn't read every single title, but I'd read all the big ones at least.
Yeah.
But we both enjoyed Superman a lot. We both love Detective and Batman. There's a lot of good stuff in Rebirth for sure.
I did how to read Rebirth. I did a how to read Rebirth video on my channel that I actually am pretty proud of. To be honest with you, I think it's one of the better videos I did. How to read in what order and things like that for Rebirth.
That was really important, especially for Superman. Superman was really hard to get into the Rebirth title. You cannot just start with that first deluxe hardcover.
No.
You cannot. You have to read, you actually have to read The Final Days of Superman by Tomasi and Lois and Clark by Jurgens to understand that at all. Otherwise, it's going to be so confusing to you. And Jess and I did like we said earlier, we did a whole video reviewing those 2 series.
Yeah.
Which was a lot of material, but it was all great.
The Dead Man Omnibus, I just opened. I mean, I can unwrap it right now and look at it. I haven't relaxed the spine yet. So I only think that I'll open it and we will see. I still think it's only the one completely redrawn story is the first Dead Man that Neil Adams did, which was Strange Adventures 206, which was the second issue.
Next, Imaginaut says it's all original untouched art.
Even New Strange Adventures 206. Okay, I want to see, because that is what I would much rather have that version than the redone version that was in that Dead Man hardcover.
It'd be kind of funny if you bought that and then you open it up and it's all re-inked and recolored by Neil Adams. Even the stuff he didn't draw.
God, he just wiped out Dick Giordano's inks on some things.
He hid them all in the Hollow Earth with the rest of the mole men or whoever lives down there.
Oh gosh, this was such a good series. Oh, this is awesome.
My only exposure to Dead Man in comic book form is Batman Damned, which is pretty sad. Oh,
that is sad. This is great. It's the original art for Strange Adventures 206. Instead of the awful redo that he did, Neil Adams, it's the original art.
Nice.
Like this. That's the original art, and that's awesome. And now I'm happy. Now
it's taking you back to the 70s, Jess.
Sorry?
It's taking you back to a simpler time.
And this was the late 60s when it started.
So you were a young whippersnapper then.
Yeah. And you'll get Neil Adams' Batman with the Dead Man Brave and Bold appearances with the original art that he re-inked and recolored in that Batman omnibus.
Jess was running down to the Five and Dime with his propeller beanie on, with his knee-high socks, to go get a malt at the drugstore and get some comics.
It's like you're in my mind right now.
I can just picture
exactly how it happened.
I can totally picture it. You spinning that propeller on your beanie as you were running down the street to get that comic.
So far, it looks like everything. I mean, I'm going to have to do a deep dive into this, but I mean, it all looks really good so far. The Neil Adams stuff, then there's all kinds of other people too. There were other artists that did Dead Man. Ooh, Phantom Stranger and Dead Man. That was good. Yeah, this looks really good.
Well, Jess, you ready to call it a night?
Yep. I'm ready to read this Dead Man book until I fall asleep at 3 a.m. It's been great having the show with you, Taylor.
Another tangent cave, another tangent in the tangent cave?
Tangent in the Tangent Cave. Thank you, everybody that participated in the chat. Thank you to everybody that's watching now and is watching this in the future. What's it like in the future? Thank you to Taylor. Thank you to Tyler for showing up. And thank you to the Rams. Thank you. Peace and love. Peace and love. Good night, everybody. And I'm sorry we were late. That was my fault. Won't happen again.